Good evening, Fernwood. It is your remote water cooler friend Neil here, and it's time for us to have a sip and a chat about another episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Today we are watching episode 158 from November 10th, 1976. It's Midweek Madness. That's just a name I've given it because it's the middle of the week. It's a Wednesday episode. Let's do the recap. Yesterday, Tom shot his commercial for the RV lot. Mary gave him some advice that made him anxious, so he asked her to leave, but Tippy Toes stuck around, and he felt a lot more comfortable after that. Kathy got a visit from the Adamses, who are planning to adopt her baby. They are very rich and very overbearing, and it made Kathy incredibly uncomfortable. After the commercial shoot, Tom came home with a present for Mary and Heather. Heather was the only one who appreciated it. At the Capri Lounge, Merle met with Garth, who had ideas of getting Merle into business, and Wanda showed up and said that the real plan was to get him into political office. And now we've got some new neighbors. The Gimbles are moving into the home that used to be owned by the McCulloughs and then the Fetters before them. It is very clear now in their relationship that Garth is at least emotionally abusive to Nurse Gimble. Mary visited and offered some help, but then Garth sent her away. And we have yet to see what is going to develop in this new household. That is our recap for yesterday's episode. I believe we can begin.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman!
I have no new thoughts to write in my journal today. However, I do have a few leftover thoughts from yesterday. Tom surprised me with the CB, which I must say was quite a surprise because it is something I don't need, want, or know how to use. He got the idea from Tippy Toes, who I am developing a love-hate relationship with. It is quite a strain to hate somebody you are beginning to like, but nevertheless, she has a way of making it very easy. I also find it suspicious that her CB handle is Tippy Toes. It gives me a constant feeling she is sneaking around behind my back very quietly, like Maria Tallchief.
Oh, Kathy, would you get a big box for your daddy's mail? There's one up in the hall near your room.
My hope chest, Ma?
Oh, I suppose you were right. Like the saying goes, where there's life, there's hope, and since you have more than one life... Kathy? Kathy, there's hope.
What hope, in a fire plug?
Kathy, that is not a fire plug. It's possibly missing terrestrial George Shumway being beamed aboard intergalactic hovercraft just outside of Cleveland.
Ma, that's not Cleveland. It's a fire plug.
Why would they be beaming a fire plug aboard a hovercraft? That doesn't make any sense.
You're absolutely right.
Well, at least their handwriting is good. Jill, that is, of Jack and Jill. Poor image quality is exasperated by spacecraft exhaust.
It's probably like bus fumes.
Which probably explains why George looks so dense.
That's not the only thing that's dense.
Why?
Yeah! Listen, I've got an appointment, so I'll see you later.
Hold your horses, hon. I just come to pay you a little quick visit call.
Loretta, guess what Jack and Jill sent us? A picture of George on a flying saucer.
Oh, Swan, are you serious? Did you send this to the Enquirer? They give you $10 for this stuff, you know. To be brutally frank, Mrs. Shumway, this looks like a fire plug to me.
Me too.
Look at you. Hon, you look beautiful. just glowing. You know, the second that I heard that you had a sweet little old baby carrying around in your tummy, I says to Charlie, now you asked him if I didn't. I said, Charlie, I bet you that the Lord is so thrilled that there is going to be a darling little innocent baby brought into the world that he is not even going to think twice about the fact that the mother left out a certain little kind of, lawfully wedded step in the whole process.
Well, listen, I really have to go.
Kathy, don't worry about the Lord. He's a very big person, and he totally understands. I just want you to know that. Where are you off to in such a hurry?
She has to go be interviewed by the parents who own the factory that George worked in, before he went to Venus.
Ma, the Adamses don't own the factory. It's her father. And for your information, I'm not going to give them my baby.
Huh. That is such a relief, Kathy. Now, I had heard from some tacky rumor or something that you was going to sell your baby. But I don't know how those things get started. I knew, though, that you'd just being a sweet, down-to-earth, honest mom, that you'd never sell your very own little baby for even $100,000, let alone for 10.
Well, it's 20, but you're right.
Then, Kathy, where are you going if you're not going to give the baby to the daughter of the man who owns the plant and whose husband is working his way up?
Oh, well, I'm going to go and have a tooth pulled. I'll see you later. Bye, Loretta.
A tooth pull, Loretta? Why, her face doesn't look swollen or puffy or anything.
Mrs. Shumway, I don't want to upset you, because I know that you're already upset and all on account of your husband, leaving without a trace and not to mention a pension. But I think what Kathy means is, well, let me put it this way. If you will just think about Kathy's whole picture, which part of it is puffy and swollen, then I think you'll know what having the tooth pulled means.
Whole picture. Oh, Loretta, not an abortion.
God rest her soul and forgive her. I think that's what having a tooth pulled means nowadays, Mrs. Shumway. If that isn't a pity and a shame and a waste, I don't know what is.
Oh dear, what a shame. Kathy saying a thing like that in front of you. Of all people, when you and Charlie have tried and tried and tried, I don't know how many times, to have children, and they all turn out to be con jobs or tumors or broken legs. I feel just awful. Honestly, sometimes Kathy doesn't show any sensitivity at all.
Oh, well, don't worry about it, Miss Shumway. Actually, having no sensitivity is not the easiest thing in the world to live with, I feel bad for Kathy. I really do. On the other hand, I'd love to go out and just chase her and slap some sense into her,
Oh, that is very big-hearted of you to think about Kathy on top of having to work to support your husband. After what happened to him in that motel room, I don't see how you have the strength to do it.
Well, the Lord gives me my strength, Mrs. Shumway.
You have to go.
Yeah, I hate to go, but I really got to. I'll see you later, okay? Bye.
Oh, George, I don't know whether you can hear me or not through all those hovercraft bus fumes. But if you can hear me, please don't try to explain any of this to those aliens. It is none of their business. And George, I know it's very difficult, but would you please try to send us a better picture of yourself?
Grandpa, do you think I made the right decision?
I'm very happy you didn't give the baby to those spoiled swingers or get an abortion. We'll get along just fine.
Well, it wasn't exactly my idea not to have the abortion. The nurse told me I couldn't. Yesterday was too late. You see, the fetus became a person as of last Sunday night, 7 p.m.
Just in time to watch Bowling for Dollar.
Grandpa.
You see, there's someone watching over that baby, protecting it.
Yeah, but what do I do now?
Oh, you're not going to do anything. We'll think of something. I've got it. I've got the greatest idea I've had in years. I'll get a job.
Grandpa, you're 84. Who's going to hire you?
Oh, a lot of people are doing their best work after 84. There was Pablo Picasso, Pablo Casals, Groucho Marx.
But they all had their own shows. That's awfully sweet of you. But nowadays, they start retiring people at 45. You don't have a chance.
That's because I'm a stereotype. You know, it's a crime to be old in this country. It takes some years to learn everything, and then by the time you do learn something, they say you're too old to use it.
Well, present company excluded, I do have to agree with that. I mean, old people always make you late for the light at an intersection.
Oh, wait a minute. We've got black power, we've got women power. What we need is wrinkle power. And I'll beat you through a stoplight any day.
Grandpa, people don't gun their engines to Montavani.
I resent that, young lady. I'm going to get that, but I resent that. I know. I'll get a job as a butler like they used to have in the old movies.
Oh, come in.
Good afternoon. May I ask who's calling, please?
Brian Adams.
Was the young lady expecting you, sir?
Well, not exactly.
It's okay, really. I'll take care of it. Why don't you go and watch some game shows?
See, it's unfair. How can anybody expect to win an Academy Award when they're always cutting scenes? You want me, I'll be in Lidsville.
Is that your father?
No, my grandfather. My father's still missing, remember?
Oh, right. Any word?
Well, someone spotted him in a lifting body outside of Cleveland, but it looked like a fire plug to me.
Oh, well, I wanted to say that I'm sorry for barging in again, but I came here to
Look,
apologize.
I've already made my decision.
Yeah, but before I hear it, I wanted to say that my wife, Christine, can be a bit abrasive at times, but she doesn't mean it. It's just that she was an only child and has never had to adjust to other people.
So you're telling me that she's spoiled, inconsiderate, and extremely selfish because she never had to share a bathroom?
All those things and more. And the more is why I love her. She has a large heart.
Well, that can be corrected by surgery, but a big mouth can't. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
No, it's all right. We deserve it. Arrogance can be very hard to deal with. But it's only a front. She told me that you were beautiful and how she wished she had a sister just like you. Please, give us one more chance to make you like us.
I've already made my decision to keep it, the baby.
Please, we both want a child so much. And being a mother would change Christine's life.
I've heard that before.
Please, Kathy. We need you to need us. Just one more chance to talk with us. To see if maybe we can't help smooth out the rough spots in your life.
All right. I'll talk to your wife once more. But I've made my decision. Honestly. Really. I have.
Oh, Wanda, I just can't believe you're actually here in my house. And on my laundry day.
Well, why not? We were bosom buddies at Fernwood Psychiatric, so why not
Yeah.
here? Even on laundry day. Well, I use Dynamo. It's not all that different, is it?
Well, I don't know, maybe you're right. Tom used the bold. And, you see, when he got his new job and when we were in the hospital and everything, he had to take care of a lot of stuff. So for his own laundry, he would go over to my mother's and he would get whites. But here, he did the laundry, so now I have grays. But I think you're right. Maybe I will switch. Oh, let me see if that is. Oh, Miss Gimbal! Hi! How are you?
Fine. Look at this. It's like old home week. Hello, Wanda.
Nurse Gimbal.
Oh, Pat, please. I'm not wearing my cap.
Oh.
Hey, listen, Mary, I'm sorry to barge in like this, but do you have any mercurochrome? I don't remember where I
Let me
packed
see,
it. And
let me see.
we are still unpacking.
Oh, boy. You look lovely without your cap.
Oh,
What was it? Another injury?
Oh, you're not hurt again.
Oh, no, it's Garth. He cut his knuckle on the wall.
The wall?
Garth cut his knuckle on the wall?
With a hammer. He's just a terror with a hammer. You know, most people, sometimes they hit, sometimes they miss, but, wow, when he misses.
How's this?
Oh, thanks a bunch. Listen, I've got to run. Bye, Mary. Bye, Wanda. Bye.
Well, it isn't a small town and a small world.
Yeah.
I just saw her husband yesterday.
That's funny, so did I. He was going someplace. Was he going to see you?
Well, only indirectly. But speaking of men who are going someplace, do you want to hear something really scandalous?
Very much.
I'm in love.
Oh, Wanda! Oh, Wanda! And so soon after your husband's death. You do bounce back fast, don't you? Well, I don't believe in long widowhoods either. I think it's a tremendous strain, particularly on the widow.
Oh, Mary, I knew it when I first laid eyes on him.
Who is it?
Oh, I mean, that face, even on television. The past and the future, all there in one smile, and with a mustache. My future, and who knows, maybe even Ohio's future.
Wanda who?
Mary, it's Merle. Merle Jeter. Yeah. Oh, Mary. Oh, and I'm not even religious. Oh, but don't tell a soul. I mean, I was bursting with it, but there are a lot of people that wouldn't understand.
Wouldn't understand why? Because Merle muckraked your husband to death on the 6 o'clock news?
Yeah.
Oh, you see, I could see why they might not understand, because he doesn't have a great history with other women's husbands.
Oh, you're kidding.
Well, it's just in this town he hasn't been here that long. I mean, it's been like 6 months, something like that. But I would say one thing.
Yeah.
I give it a little time before I married him.
Oh, Mary, I will. Because to me, marriage isn't just a way of legalizing lust, although he is a hunk. It's the quickest way to a winning political alliance. And there's nothing sexier than a man on the way up. Oh, listen, can I help you fold? Oh, Mary, by the way, what happened with Tom and that woman?
Wanda, I'm so glad you told me about Merle.
Mary, look, if you don't want to talk about Tom, I can understand.
Wanda, good.
Even though suppressed anxiety could lead to another breakdown. Mary, you need someone to confide in, even if it's just gossip, which both Esquire magazine and Truman Capote agree is a perfectly legitimate form of communication, if not art.
That's why I have Gore Vidal.
You do?
Well, see, what he's done for me is he's given me this journal, and I'm supposed to fill in these pages, and then I'm going to send it him, and he's going to make it into a book with me.
Oh, Mary, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, then you can get it all out in your writing.
Yeah. Only I haven't written anything down yet.
Oh.
For some reason, the blank pages just seem to leave like a blank spot in me.
Oh, well, why don't you just write down what you didn't tell me?
Except that I have this absolute terror that Heather might find it and see bad things about her in it. I'm a little scared of Heather.
Well, it'll just bring you closer together. Well, she can learn from your mistakes. Besides, after you're published, she can pick it up in paperback at the supermarket.
I never even thought of that. I better go make the beds.
Oh, come to think of it, Mary, you know, if you don't want to tell me about Tom now, I can pick it up at the supermarket.
Wanda, thanks a lot for helping me fold.
Well, so how about saving me $1.95?
Would I get a royalty on that?
Oh, of course.
Well, then you'll have to wait. You know, this book could end up being a very dangerous thing to me and my loved ones. Because I'm not sure I have anything good to say about anybody.
Hey, have I ever told you how wonderful you are? Huh?
Yeah, but I don't believe you.
Oh, come on. You're wonderful, don't you know that, huh? I mean, Annie and I were just talking about it. I mean, you know how great you've been, how you've been taking all these problems since you came back. I mean, like me working all the time and Heather getting big and stuff like that. And how you've been just terrific, you know? And you've been helping me to grow, to be more myself and to make more of myself. And, you know, it takes all my attention. You've been great about that.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah, you have been. You know what?
What?
I don't know. I just, I should have said this before, but thank you.
What a lovely, kind thing you just did. You thanked me. Tom, I really can't tell you what it means to me that you thanked me.
Well, I do have a small request. You know?
Does it have anything to do with seeing an X-rated movie with the Shiders to revitalize their memory?
No.
Because I don't like the Shiders.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do. My small request has to do with my being tired and my back.
Your back?
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to rub your back?
Yeah.
Oh, Oh, you have such a sexy back. Oh, I really hate that word. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry I said that. Tom, you have a wonderful back.
Look, rub and scratch, will you?
Oh, rub and scratch?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Like
because
that?
Because I've been, up and down all day long, just making sure, showing people all those storages and conveniences,
Is that right?
Oh, that's good. Between the shoulder blades, okay?
Shoulder
Right up
blades?
there. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Tom? Is it me or my fingers?
It's all you, Mary.
I did the laundry today.
You did. That's wonderful, because I took all your mother's linens.
Wanda came over to see me today.
Oh, you mean the one from the nut house?
Oh, come on, Tom, don't say that. She's a member of the Junior League. She eats lunch with the mayor.
Yeah. He should be an outpatient.
And you know what she did? While she was here, she was so sweet, Tom. You know what she did? She helped me fold. And we just talked a lot. And, I really think she likes to talk to me. Like almost as much as Gore Vidal did.
Oh, that's good.
You know what I think? I think people like to talk to me a lot.
That's good, right there. Oh, that's
Is that good?
Right there.
Right there?
Right there.
Is that good there?
Yeah.
I was thinking about it. I was thinking, why do people like to talk to me? Because I'm beginning to think they do. And I think it's because I like to listen, And then, and I keep a lot of things to myself, like I don't bring up, a lot of things, that might bother people. I mean, private things I keep to myself, like, if I get hurt or if I feel rejected, or anything like that. I mean, the silly things, like if I keep it to myself. Like if I feel someone just going to swoop down from the air and strip my marriage out from under me, I try to keep it to myself. And I just don't, say a lot, or I'll only tell, if people ask me a lot of questions and they're really interested. How's this?
Oh, that's great. Hey, you want me to do you?
Why don't you go to sleep?
Come on, I will. I'll do you. Come on. You sure you don't want me to do you?
Well, I had something else in mind.
Oh, you did. Come here.
I feel like this episode is a kind of punctuation to this story. Like, I feel good at the end of it, but let's start at the beginning. We get a very brief scene of Mary writing into her notebook that Gore Vidal gave her and having some questions about what she should include. And as we know, Mary loves to hide her emotions, and putting them on paper seems really scary, and that is an important part of the process of writing, which is to just get it down. And we'll find out more about why she feels troubled by it, but hey, there we go. Then we cut over to the Shumways, and Martha is still pining over George and has a photograph that looks really Weekly World Newsy. And Loretta shows up and picks up on the vibe that Kathy is going for an abortion. And it's really Kathy's right, but legally it was really a new prospect. I think we've talked about when Roe v. Wade was made law, and it was just a little bit before this, so culturally it might not have taken hold. And then we get a talk between Kathy and Grandpa, and apparently fetuses don't turn into people, in the womb, but, legally it's a question, but, I suppose it was a little bit too late of a trimester. I mean, she hasn't been pregnant that long. I don't know. Time works very strangely in this show, so I don't know how long she's been pregnant, to be honest. 3 months at some point, and now it's a little bit more than 3 months. Who knows exactly how many days have passed since she learned that she was pregnant, but Grandpa's neither on the side of Kathy having an abortion or giving the baby up for adoption. And then Bryan Adams shows up and asks Kathy to reconsider and defends his wife, who, by my estimation, is a disgusting woman. Is just a disgusting woman. Not the actress, but the behavior of the character, Christine Adams, was horrible. And no, but he's putting in his 2 cents, and he seemed kinder today than yesterday. Yesterday he was so overbearing, and today he was much more friendly and person to person than yesterday when he was leaning over her for, a minute. But Kathy has some stuff to think about. She intends to keep the baby, and, that's where we stand. Things may change. And we see Wanda visiting Mary and getting closer to Mary. And I think it's nice that Mary has a new friend. And Pat comes over, Patty Gimble, and asks for mercurochrome, which, if you don't know, would be kind of the thing that you rub on yourself if you get a little bit of a wound, or not a big wound, but like if you have a little abrasion, you put it on you. It's kind of the equivalent of Neosporin today, but generic and also painful. But Garth has injured himself against the wall because he's bad with a hammer, and we know how violently abusive he can be. We haven't seen him be physically abusive yet to Patty, but we have seen her be injured, and that is an implication there. That is certainly something to investigate. But she gets the mercurochrome and heads back home, and Mary then expresses some fears about what to write in the book, and if the book goes public, that is even more scary to her. And she even says that she's scared of Heather, and that's the first time she's said that. So that is some progress there. I'm not sure why exactly she is scared of Heather, other than Heather being somewhat different in point of view to her, but it's a feeling that someone can have, and I think it's the most honest that Mary has been about her feelings regarding Heather. So while it's not a pleasant thing to hear about yourself, if you were Heather, it's still I don't know if breakthrough is the right word, but it's still something important for Mary to say. And then we get this really lovely scene between Mary and Tom where they are just catching up and trying to get on the same page. And Tom thanks Mary for her support of him, and that is meaningful to Mary. And that is, to me, the very biggest thing in that scene. And that Tom asks for a back rub. I didn't love the back rub, but also, I'm more of a deep tissue guy than a scratchy, itchy guy. I feared that Tom would maybe fall asleep and say Annie's name, and it didn't happen. I'm so glad. It may happen in the future, but it didn't happen today. And it shows that something has changed between Tom and Mary, and that's good. I do wish that Tom would pick up on exactly how uncomfortable Mary is with Annie, Tippy Toes. And that's something that she keeps secret. We see her writing about it in the notebook at the beginning of the episode. But we already know that Mary is inclined to hide her feelings and is inclined to not say what's on her mind or not make her emotions clear. And Tom could be mildly better at reading that, but at the moment, Mary has enough. Mary has Tom's appreciation. Tom sees Mary for the support that she has given him, right? That's a nice place to end, but we're only in the first or second month of season 2, so that things don't stay the same. And that's in life, but also in soap operas, things don't stay the same. So I guess we will see exactly what it means that they're in a good place right now. I mean, it means good things right now, but what will it come to? So, hey, that's everything I've got to say right now about this episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Thank you so much for coming back with me and having a sip. Please share your thoughts and impressions of the episode down in the comments, because I like it when we all talk together. Conversation is a thing I crave. And hey, thank you again, and we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.